What we've done for the direct marketing space is we've said, okay, fine, everybody can track calls and everybody can route calls to a certain degree. We put together, we unified everything.
What's unique about what we offer is it's a one-stop shop. So there's places you can go and get numbers, although I would argue they're not as good as ours. There's places you can go and get routing, and there's places you can go and maybe get save the sale or some call tracking. But there's a whole integrated horizontal platform that we provide really to make it easy so all the parts talk to each other. Remember, we're all about marketing optimization. What does that mean? Well, whatever you've spent, for a very small incremental amount of additional spend, you can get exponential results, right? So, once measurable.
So you know, triple net, what you pay dial 800, and if I pay dial 800 $100 and I made $200, that's a pretty good investment. If they take calls, we will help them get more calls and more sales. That's it. That's what our stuff actually does. We branded all numbers that are easy to remember, both vanity numbers that have words, as well as just easily remembered digit sequences, rapid recall. Okay? Because that's the whole purpose of a number. Can I rapidly recall it so I can call a company and buy whatever I want to buy?
There's an assumption out there, which we've always believed in, which is better numbers will get you better response. But it's been how much? Does it really work? It's almost like an urban fairy tale or something. Is that really true? It's kind of true, but it's not really true. That's at least the perception that we found out. And what we found is, a real great example is 800s versus 877s. Does it really make a difference? It doesn't make that big a difference, and we find a lot of people that say that. It doesn't make that big a difference, but it really does make a difference. And that's the message that we want to convey, particularly around the numbers, because that's a mistake that you can save $30 a month, $50 a month, maybe $100 a month against a $50,000 media buy. But your loss on that is going to be tremendous. I mean, you could lose 20, 25, 30% of your response. So a lot of it's just educating clients to not be penny wise and pound foolish.
Our call tracking software is called CallView 360, and CallView 360 is rather unique in a call tracking software. It not only tracks which ads are performing the best, it records all the calls, but on top of that, instantly and automatically we grab names and addresses of the people calling by just taking the phone number of the caller, we reverse append it, and then to that, we then get a full demographics profile. CallView 360 grabs not only the full name and address of the caller, but then reverse appends and gives us complete household demographics. As opposed to spending $30,000 on a focus group for mere pennies, we now know a tremendous amount of qualitative details about the people calling us. Not just quantitative details, qualitative. And with that qualitative detail, we can now sharpen our media buy, which will then reduce the cost of trying to advertise to the wrong people and increase the amount of leads that you get and lower the cost per sale of each of those leads. AccuRoute today, there's nothing like it I've ever seen. It is the single most powerful routing engine I've ever seen, bar none.
One of our clients is IBC Hearthware, and you may know them from the New Wave oven. So very popular product, they're doing phenomenally well. And they approached us with a different problem, which wasn't really number-based, but they wanted to be able to control their routing and to route calls to different destinations, to multiple call centers. And specifically, is they have a huge high volume of traffic, and they have some wonderful boutique call centers that they love to use, but they can't handle a high volume of traffic. So what's the solution? And we provide them the ability to route calls, and they're routing to 5 call centers right now. And route calls to boutique call centers. As they're saturated and their closers are maxed out, they can then route to the larger call centers. They can take a higher volume of calls. And the reality is we need both of those kinds of players in the call center space.
We give the marketer the toll-free numbers. That way, if the marketer doesn't like call center A, he can move. Because the marketer should have the power. The marketer will give him the power with AccuRoute. If they want a percentage allocate, great. Give more calls to the call centers that are closing more deals. It's pushing the power up to the marketer, because the marketer is the person who's spending all the money and taking all the risk.
So Boomerang is our Save the Sale product. And you know, there's a common problem that happens is you run these campaigns, they work, and they work as well as they work, and perhaps they work and they're very, very successful. But there's always a certain number of people that call that either they hang up, or they decide not to buy, or they really want to buy and then, you know, for some reason they get disconnected. Well, what do you do with those callers? And they're always in the mix. We can have a postcard generated immediately that day, sent down to a printing facility and printed, snail mail, sent that night. So we're in a world where people are just inundated with technology. I mean, how many emails does everyone get a day? I mean, too many, right? Emails, even SMSs. You know, so there's all these inputs. When there's a hard physical piece of media that you get in the mail, and it's very cost effective, and we can do this for less than $1 a card, all in. Right, so it's a very cost-effective way to get a response, and it's noticed. People will notice that.